Greetings and welcome to this week's edition of Poly Weekly News. I'm your host for this week, David Dant. It was really great watching Katie host it last week, and we're going to have a whole bunch of other hosts from Poly globally to come in and share their views and beyond this. This week's show is going to be interesting because I'm joined by my colleague Uwe Ansmann in Munich, Germany. Uwe, hey, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How about you? Doing good?
I couldn't be happier. Living the
Awesome.
dream here, and we are going to be talking about poly digital signage. Not a lot of people know that the poly endpoints that are fantastic for video and natively compatible with all of the platforms that we work with are also available to be used as digital signage endpoints when people aren't in the room and when people are in the room. So Uwe, let me start before we get into that. Let me start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what your role is at Poly and how long you've been here?
Yeah, so I'm with Poly since 8.5 years, something. So I started off as a system engineer for the DACH region, so meaning Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. For nearly 4 years ago, I then stepped up to be a manager. So I'm now responsible for leading the SE team in Central Europe.
And you're a native German speaker, correct? Or you probably speak a lot of languages, considering I only speak English. But why don't you say hello to some of your customers and tell me what your customers are looking at in terms of what they see in collaboration in the latest days?
Yeah, definitely. So nice to see you all. And for the German guys, schön, dass ihr eingeschaltet habt. Freut mich. Bitte seid auch nächste Woche wieder dabei bei Poly Weekly News. So the big thing, I guess, as always, and all around the world, people are coming back to the office, right? So we need to adopt the new way of working. Companies have to adopt the new way of working. Video is now everywhere. So everything that we started years ago, and I'm in the business since more than 20 years now, the thing that we have today, it was a dream back in the days, right? So we finally at this point where video is really working, so you don't need any tries and hundreds of hours preparation time and then to find out at the end it's not working. So these days are gone. Everything is working fine. And as you said, I mean, digital signage is one of the things that's really stepping up. So you have a video endpoint in your office, but if you're not doing a call, you just have a black screen, right? So there's nothing literally that you can do with it, except you have a poly endpoint. And as you said, we are supporting a lot of providers like AppSpace since 2021 already, with 3.10, software version 3.10, which came out literally some weeks ago. We now added Radiant. And the big thing, at least from my perspective, is that you can also use your own web server. So you don't need to have a subscription. You can have a subscription because it gives you additional possibilities. It gives you pre-configured templates. You just need to add some text and maybe a photo, and then you're ready to go. But again, if you want to have it locally, you don't want to use any cloud service, for example, just go with your own web server. And I created a blog post on that, which shares a little bit of HTML script. You can just copy and paste, put it into a file, put it on your server, add some images, and then you're ready to go. So it's really, really easy.
So wait a minute, we've got to go a little slower there because I want to make sure that we don't lose anybody along the way.
Yeah,
First of
absolutely.
all, let's talk about you shot a video. But what does this look like? What does it look like when you have digital signage in the room? I'll roll the video. Can you describe what's going on with it?
Yeah, definitely. So you see me literally entering a room here in the Munich office, and as you know, we have a lot of partners and customers over here, and we want to show how easy it is to use our video products. So my idea was, and again, it's a demo center, so we're using a lot of different apps. So we're using Teams, Poly Video Mode, Zoom, for example, just to name some of them. And the UI always looks a little bit different, but how to use the system should be really easy and understandable. So what I show you in that video is you enter a room, it shows you on every room, completely unindependent from the app, a screen that literally tells you exactly what to do. So it tells you if you want to start your meeting, just press the touchscreen or just press the TC8, and then you're ready to go. Just press the join button and you're done. Like I said, this is visible for systems running Zoom, for systems running Teams, running Poly Video Mode. So no big difference, and that's fairly easy to understand, I guess, and that helps a lot of customers and also our internal guys to use our products.
And this one that you shared with us, this one is running on that internal web server that you mentioned?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you said you wrote a blog about it. Yeah, why don't you let us know again? Give me the URL of the blog, and I'll put it up here on the screen as we edit this. But how can people read that blog and find that blog?
Yeah, so the easiest thing is to go to Bing or to Google and just Google or search for my name, Uwe Ansmann. It should be the first result, and then you're ready to go.
So what are you going to share with us today in terms of showing us how to activate this on the Poly endpoint?
Yeah, so I will show you the website of our video endpoint. So just let me have a look. Should be that one, hopefully. There you go. So this is one of our endpoints. So I just go to the portal itself. So let me just log in. And then, it's, as I said, our products are easy to use and setup is also really, really easy. So just go to general settings, then click on system settings. And this, again, is a system over here in our demo center. If you scroll down then to, where is it? There you go, digital signage. So I overlooked it, sorry for that. So you just can click on enable digital signage, then choose the amount of time that it waits before it goes into the digital signage mode. So by default, I had 1 minute set. You can also set this time higher if you like that.
So that's how it knows not to go into the digital signage when it's in a call. This is how much of an idle state
absolutely.
should wait before it starts.
Absolutely. Just think of it as a screensaver. This is literally what it is, right? So if you're not using your system in that regards for 1 minute, then digital signage pops up and it shows you the information that you want to share with your employees, for example. It could be the company's numbers, it could be calls you've made today, it could be the weather report, it could be, let's say, a video. So MP4, for example, would also be working. And then you just choose your provider. In that regards, for this machine, it's AppSpace. Like I told you before, we're also supporting Radiant, and we're also supporting a custom setting. So if you go here, you can just enter literally your web server address, your internal web server, press on save, and then that's it. It's really, really easy. So it could be, like I said, it could be a website. And again, I put some code onto my blog. It could be an MP4 file. You could have a graphics file, just a graphics file without any additional code, something. So that's also working.
So this can be instructions to use the room. This can be the
Absolutely.
company logo, the company graphic, so people can walk in and the screens can be set up to be a prestige, showing everybody that this is the company. It looks like it was very expensive, but it wasn't. It's a simple file that's put in over here. Or it can be a connection to one of these other cloud services that let you manage and rotate through any number of screens and types that you would have to be able to show, room content, weather, local announcements, things of that nature. It's fully compatible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which endpoints? Which endpoints does it work on? Which Poly endpoints does this work on today?
This is working for Studio X series and also for G7500.
So that's the Studio X30, the Studio X50, the Studio X70, and the integrator codec, the G7500. All 4 of those room systems that have the codec built in have this capability built in, and it doesn't cost anything extra to use, right? It's no additional license, it's no additional.
Absolutely. So if you go for your custom server, then that's absolutely free of charge. If you go for AppSpace or Radiant, then they will charge you for the services you book at them.
Yeah. About how many customers? What percentage of customers do you see that are actually using this capability now?
It's growing numbers. At this moment in time, I would say, because it's fairly new, right? 25 something percent.
And again, it's something that people that are starting to become aware of, they're not quite realizing that it's available in the product. So as people become aware of it, it can grow. And even if you don't have a contract with one of the digital signage users, again, you can do this simply to customize what the reset screen is in the rooms, put your logo and put things like that. So as we make sure that this becomes available and people are aware of it, it's a feature that people will be able to really see and use and understand in all the rooms where they install this, especially considering now that we're going to be, with return to the office and whatever that looks like, we believe there are going to be a lot more video systems in the office than there have been in the past. I assume that's what customers are telling you. That's what you're seeing in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it as you said, it adds additional value to your conference rooms. And it's already built into the system. So there's nothing that we charge you for. This is just a feature that we added with our software to our existing endpoints. So if you have a Studio X, just give it a try. It's already there. It's easy. Reach out to us if you need some help. If you go for a new one and you're looking for not just a video system, but a system that supports your way to hybrid working, then you'll find your place.
And it's interesting, we started this conversation talking about how many years you and I have both been in this industry, talking about how hard things are and how expensive things are. And I find it fascinating when I speak to my colleagues, such as yourself, when I speak to customers in the industry, that we are now producing products in the space that are not only easier to use and more reliable and have more features, but are far less expensive to purchase and integrate in rooms than even, 3, 4, 5 years ago where again we're talking about a Studio X30, which is a very inexpensive endpoint to put in, a couple of $1,000s all in with the screen with everything else, and you've already built in a digital signage capability right into the box at no additional cost. It's really interesting to see the progression of our industry where things are getting less expensive and higher quality and more feature rich.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if you see the feature set, for example, of a Studio X, looking at the different modes it can run in, looking at device mode, which makes it very easy to use. You just plug in HDMI and USB and you're ready to go. And you can use any UC platform provider out there in the wild. And also that digital signage piece, again, that adds additional value to your rooms, to your conference rooms, and brings more, let's say, more power also to your employees, because they can share some knowledge. They can share maybe deals that they want. So that's a good thing to put on your digital signage solution and just enrich your UC experience.
That's actually a great point and a great question that I have for you because I'm not sure what the answer is myself. When you're using, say, a Studio X50 and you put it in device mode because that means you're walking in with a notebook and you want to just simply use it as a pass through, so you're not using the codec built in. Does the digital signage component, is it aware of that and it won't start that timer? So the timer,
Absolutely.
so it doesn't just have to be in its own call in its local codec. It's aware when you're using it as a camera and microphone system as well, and it won't start up the digital signage until that's free as well.
Correct. And I mean, that's a fairly good use case, right? So if you have a picture that just describes how to use the system if you enter a room, like plug in HDMI, plug in USB, use any UC provider you want, you just plug in the cables and you're ready to go, then that's how it should work, right? It shouldn't need any printed paper, 28 pages telling you how to use the system. It should be intuitive, and we can support that by using the digital signage approach.
Let me ask you for a moment about where people can see this in action. Obviously, if you reach out to one of your poly salespeople or colleagues or people that you know, or myself or Uwe, we can certainly point you to other customers that are using this that would be happy to speak with you. We can also arrange for you to come into any one of the poly demo centers that we have around the world, the executive briefing centers, and you'll be able to see this going on. We're also, depending upon where we are in terms of the peaks and valleys of the pandemic that we're living through, we're hopefully going to be getting together in Barcelona for ISE. Uwe, I assume you're going to be going to that with a lot of your team.
Definitely. Yeah, really looking forward to meet you and the team and our partners out there and our customers. Yeah.
So give me a sense, just off the top of your head, and no one's going to hold you to this, but give me a sense of what people will be able to see at ISE when they go into the Poly stand, and what the various technologies are. Because again, it's not so much this year that we're going to have new announcements. And by the way, we may, but certainly with the just completed Enterprise Connect, it wasn't so much as new announcements as it was finally getting a chance to see your Poly team in person and to put your hands on gear that you haven't been able to see in person. So what are the kinds of things that they'll see when they walk through our typical stand?
Yeah, so you can literally see all our products live in action. Where we'll talk a lot about lens and management and how to use your products and how to make sure your products are usable for your guys, for your employees out there. Then another big thing will be Director AI. So we want to show you, and you're more than welcome to visit our booth. We want to show you how you can make everyone feel like they're part of the meeting. Independent from where they are, so sitting in the home office or being in the conference room. So I guess this is the biggest thing that we will be showing off in Barcelona.
Yeah, the meeting equality, the
Yeah,
idea that
absolutely.
the entire industry, not just Poly, but certainly Poly, are making it through AI and machine learning, the ability to let everybody have an equal experience to the meeting that's going on. And obviously, you'll be able to get a chance to see, I assume, the smaller solutions, the medium solutions, the larger solutions, how we work natively with Zoom, how we work natively with Microsoft Teams. And then also, our headset products, our telephony products. There are going to be some interesting and wonderful things on display that people actually get their hands on, correct?
Correct.
And
Absolutely.
and we actually have, I can't really show it. We actually will have some new products that we may be able to show you. Then I've got first time ever that I've got a new product here that I can't unbox or show anybody until we announce it. And that's just, like I said, one of the many that are going on this year. So there will be opportunities to do that. I'm hoping I will be there as well. Again, it depends on the peaks and the valleys of COVID and whether or not people are going to all the conferences and the and trade show opportunities. But we're starting back up, and I appreciate that. It was really a pleasure looking forward, looking at the people that were attending, my colleagues, the customers. There was a lot of hugging going on at the conference that we just finished, and it wasn't even so much hugging because I loved being with a colleague and seeing them again. That was nice, but it was almost embracing the fact that we can be humans again.
Yeah.
The hug was for me. I hugged so many people that I hadn't hugged before. We're hoping that again we're going to have that opportunity to really be there and share what's going on, and we'll certainly do Poly Weekly News from there in some format as well. And hopefully you and your whole team will get a chance to be on that and show everybody what's going on. Any last thoughts or comments about what we want to be telling customers regarding digital signage or anything else, Poly?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is just go for it, right? So again, look at the blog, copy the code, just give it a try, see the value that it brings, and then you can look at AppSpace, you can look at Radiant, but you just get it started and bring that additional value to your conference rooms.
Terrific. Uwe, thank you very much for taking the time today. If somebody wants to reach out to you personally, find out more about you and reach out to you, find out what you do, how should they get in touch with you?
So just use my Poly email address. I guess that's the easiest one. So uwe.ansman@poly.com. Otherwise, again, just check my blog. So that's easy. I'm also very active on LinkedIn, for example. So you can catch up with my content over there. Yeah. And by the way, thanks for having me. It was really a pleasure meeting you. And again, hopefully see you soon then in Barcelona.
It's a pleasure having you on the show. It's a pleasure being able to keep the content here global and talk with all of my colleagues around the world. And of course, if you need any more information about Poly Gear, you can simply go to the website at poly.com. Please join us for Poly Weekly News next week when we'll be talking about all of Poly's unparalleled alliances. And our guest will be our own Natalia Herrera and Blue Jeans by Verizon's Zachary Boson. This week, I'm David Danto from my colleague Uwe in Munich. Thanks very much for joining us, and we will see you on next week's Poly Weekly News.